Greetings. How's everybody doing? Today is Monday, October the 29th, and today my baby Ahava Caspi Bay is 2 months old today. She's 8 weeks, and I thought today was a good day, if any, to reach out to all my family, friends, everyone who loves me, everyone who loves Henny, everyone who loves our baby, and just give you guys a quick kind of update as to what's going on. I'm here in Philadelphia in my mother's basement, and just coming off of the toughest week, really, of my life and our lives. At 7 weeks, for those who don't know, some of you guys do know, but for those who don't know, at 7 weeks, Ava was diagnosed with a rare child's disease called retinoblastoma. And if you don't know what retinoblastoma is, it is a rare eye cancer or a tumor that, for the most part, that children get. And we're still early on in the stages, and we're still educating ourselves. But obviously, this was a shock. Um, you know, at that point when we found out, it was 7 weeks, and I can only reflect that 7 weeks prior to, I was crying out of joy, tears of joy that we had our baby, and my dreams came true. And 7 short weeks later, we were blindsided by this news. And basically, to kind of give you some background, what occurred was, we saw in her left pupil, basically where it looked like it was transparent, and it was something that we weren't sure of, and reached out to her pediatrician, and the pediatrician wasn't really sure. I was describing it to her over the phone, and she wasn't really sure. They weren't really sure what it was, but she had passed her first eye exam with flying colors, so they were, like, there weren't really any reasons to be alarmed. And we had a well visit coming in a couple of days after that. So, we went in, PCP saw her, and still really wasn't sure what it was, and recommended that we go to a specialist. The specialist did a really invasive exam, and the baby definitely didn't like it. It was really, really tough to kind of watch. And she basically knew what it was, but because that wasn't her specialty, and this is me assuming, but because this wasn't her specialty, she recommended that we go to another specialist down at Will's Eye. But you can kind of basically tell by her body language and her tone and the sense of urgency that she had, that she was showing, for us to go and get the baby reevaluated. So we go to Will's Eye. They did another similar exam, but a little bit more thorough, and discovered that the baby had retinoblastoma. So obviously, we were running the just the roller coaster of emotions during that time, and it's the toughest thing I've ever had to go through, and we've ever had to go through. And, did our research, and to kind of get to the gist of it, retinoblastoma is something that's very curable. It is a form of cancer, so if it was not taken care of, or if it wasn't discovered, obviously, our love could have left us. But it was discovered in time, and here in the U.S., although it is a rare disease, here in the U.S., per the doctor, no one should lose their life to retinoblastoma. So that made us feel good. There's going to be a process. We did get an MRI. Let me back up just a little bit. We did get an MRI. We got the results. We got the MRI on Thursday. We got the results on Friday. And definitely a sigh of relief that the cancer is basically isolated to her eye, and it didn't go outside that area. Had it gone outside that area, then they would have had to take her eye. So we were really happy about that. And so now we move forward, and it is the first step is chemo. So she won't be going through any type of radiation, but she will be going through a chemo sessions once a month for 6 months, and there'll be an exam prior to each session for the most part. And it's going to be tough because she's so young. They can't take her to the operating room, so they have to take her through that invasive kind of an evaluation. So that's going to be tough to deal with, but it's something that we have to do. And so we'll go through these 6 sessions, and after those 6 sessions, we kind of wait and see what the doctors recommend in terms of follow-up. It is something that she's going to, and we're going to have to be aware of and get checked on pretty much for the rest of her life. And that's tough, but just trying to look on the bright side of things. And we've been reassured that that Ahava will not remember any of this. So that's a good thing. She won't remember the screaming and the crying and everything that was involved. So it pretty much the pain kind of falls on Henny and I in terms of what we're going through on a daily basis with her. She's not in any pain right now. You can see she's sleeping peacefully, resting peacefully, and but she's not in any pain. There is a chance that her vision won't be as sharp in that left eye, and she'll probably have to wear glasses to protect her right eye, which was also examined and deemed to be perfect, which is great. But we just got to keep an eye on it to make sure it doesn't spread. Now, there is a blood test. They took her blood. They want to make sure it's not in her genes. And say, for instance, it is found to be in her genes. It's something that, at that point, Henny and I would have to be tested to make sure that it's not in our genes. And, although we both have had, certain forms of cancer on both sides of our family at some point, retinoblastoma or any other eye disease has not, we don't have any history. So, who knows? I don't know if, it will come back, obviously, but we'll deal with that when we get to that space. And, just about, being positive. And I just want to say thank you and I love you to everybody who's reached out to us and with love and well wishes and prayers, from Philadelphia to the other side of the world in Israel. We love you guys, and we're going to work through it all together. So this is a big transition. For those who don't know, I didn't just pop up here. I actually came here to bond. I left my job to bond with the baby during that time. So I was on a leave of absence from my job, and that leave of absence turned into a longer leave of absence. So I'm working through some obstacles, I guess you would say, with the job and figuring out what's best. But thank goodness we're here in Philadelphia, because Will's Eye Hospital and Children's Hospital of Philadelphia have the best doctors in the world for this particular disease. So she's going to be able to get the best care possible here versus us being in California or what have you. So I will definitely be here. Our baby's health is number one, and we'll work around that and move forward as we can. And she's resting right now, but trust me, she's fine. She's laughing and screaming and crying and keeping us up at night. Tomorrow is that first day of chemo, so the plan is at this point to go through it all. But because there are so many family, friends, and loved ones, I figured that I would do something like this, as as basically was suggested by my cousin Nikai, which was I thought was a brilliant idea, just to keep everybody posted, um, because it is kind of draining to go through um, this explanation from top to bottom every single time someone calls, and everyone's concerned. So I totally get that, but it's a lot, as you can understand. you know I don't know if I've cried this much um, in some time. So um, it's definitely a tough time. It's an emotional time, but we're gonna get through it. you know um, I believe. I'm not sure where everyone's faith is and things like that, but I definitely believe, and we're gonna do it together as a family, holding each other up and making sure that we're standing tall, and with all your support and love, I'm sure and certain that we'll get through it. So Ahaval's gonna be she's gonna be great. She's gonna do some wonderful things in this world. Um, you know, big shout out to Kristen. She has a friend who's going through something similar in the past, and we're going to reach out to her for some guidance and just get some experiences from her in terms of what she's gone through with her son. And as we're going to benefit, I know, man. I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, it's over. I know, I know, I know. All right, all right, all right. Ma. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up. So just like we're benefiting from their experience, or we will benefit from their experience. Someone's going to benefit from us going through this for sure, because we're going to absolutely pay it forward. And it's all about the future at this point, and it wasn't in our plans, but we don't create the plan as much as we would like to. And we're going to keep on moving. We're going to keep on pushing for sure. And so I'll be here in Philadelphia for the foreseeable future. And once we get past these 6 months, she'll be reevaluated, and we'll go from there and see where we are in terms of what we do in the future. So I will send something back out, and and I said again, I wanted to make sure I got this out to everybody who feels good and loves us and cares about us, but I also I don't want you guys to be afraid to reach out to me, but hopefully this gives you an idea of what we're going through. So it's about 8:30, and our appointment tomorrow is at 7:45 at a children's hospital tomorrow morning. And we're in the West Oak Lane area, so it's going to take a little bit of time to get down there. So we're getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I'm going to get ready to shut this down and, get my girl ready for bed so we can get up in the morning and start it off with day one. So much love to everybody out there that's pulling for us. And we love you, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.